I thought that was pretty cute myself. And no one smokes cigarettes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't know what's happening here. Okay, the music is not loading. We'll go on here. It's just spinning and saying it's loading. Okay, we'll go on here. This is Empty Cross Ministries Daily Devotionals. And we are in Day 2. We started this a few days ago when I had some issues with the internet service provider and switch providers, and I had some issues with getting connected. We got those resolved now. So we are looking at Genesis chapter 2, verses 4 through 25. This is the account of the heavens and the earth when they were created, when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, and no shrub of the field had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant of the field had yet sprung up, for the Lord God had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no man to work the ground. But streams came up from the earth, and watered the whole surface of the ground. The Lord God formed the man from the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Now the Lord God had planted a garden in the east, in Eden, and there he put the man he had formed. And the Lord God made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground, trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river watering the garden flowed from Eden. From there it was separated into 4 headwaters. The name of the first is Pishon. It winds through the entire land of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of that land is good. Aromatic resin and onyx are also there. The name of the second river is Gihon. It winds through the entire land of Cush. The name of the third river is the Tigris. It runs along the east side of Ashur. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. The Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and to take care of it. And the Lord God commanded the man, "You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat of it, you will surely die." Then the Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the beasts of the field and all the birds of the air. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them, and whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds of the air, and all the beasts of the field. But for Adam no suitable helper was found. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. And the man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. For this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh." The man and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame. After presenting the cosmic view in chapter 1, Genesis repeats the story of creation, narrowing the focus to human beings. We alone, of all God's works, are made in God's image. People have disagreed over the years on what exactly that phrase, image of God, means. Is it immortality, intelligence, creativity, relationship? Perhaps the best way to understand is to think of the image of God as a mirror. God created us so that when He looked upon us, He would see reflected something of Himself. Nothing else God created contains the same image of Himself. Alone of all creation, human beings received the very breath of life from God. Genesis declares that human beings, in God's eyes, possess a value far beyond other living things. Similarly, humans have value that can never be equaled, even by today's increasingly powerful computers, no matter how intelligent and lifelike. Genesis 2 shows human history just getting underway. Marriage begins here. Even in a state of perfection, Adam feels loneliness and desire, and God provides woman. From then on, marriage takes priority over all other relationships. Work begins here too. Adam is set in a role of authority over the animals and plants. Ever since, humans have had a kind of mastery over the rest of creation. Only the slightest hint of foreboding clouds this blissful scene of paradise. It appears in verse 17 in the form of a single negative command from God. Adam enjoys perfect freedom, with this one small exception, a test of obedience. Throughout history, artists have tried to recreate in words and images what a perfect world would look like. A world of love and beauty, a world without guilt or suffering or shame. Genesis 1 and 2 describe such a world. For a time in Genesis, peace reigns. When God looks at all He created, He pays humanity its highest compliment. Very good, He pronounces. Creation is now complete. Contemplate on this thought. Think about a close friend or family member. In what way does this person reflect God? Does some quality or personality trait speak of what God must be like?